With the word crazy, I feel like it can be a very mean word to use, especially for people who have mental health issues. Like if you know somebody has a mental health issue and you're like, oh, well, you're crazy, it's like very offensive, and you should never call anyone crazy, whether they have a mental illness or not, because I feel like the words that we say matter. If you use words like crazy or bipolar or things like that so flippantly, it adds to the stigma of mental health issues. I don't feel like things are real, and I feel disconnected from myself and from other people. It sounds crazy in a way because it's not the typical experience that most people have, but I feel like I definitely have sometimes in like my low points where I'm super critical of myself. I say things like, oh, why are you so crazy? Why are you so weird? Things like that, which isn't okay to say to myself, but I'm working on it. Dissociating, it can be kind of hard to explain if you don't actually experience it yourself. It's like you're on autopilot all the time, like your body is just kind of like doing its own thing while your mind is like completely somewhere else. And oftentimes it can be hard to return to your body, because if your body doesn't feel safe, it's hard to like tell your mind it's okay to be here right now, because your body and your mind kind of perceive everything as a threat. Experience what I'm experiencing, it's just a lot of emotional numbness because I feel very disconnected from myself, and so it can be hard for me to just process and deal with all the things happening around me, if that makes any sense. I have a very bad memory because of my dissociation. Formation of short-term memory into long-term memory is kind of not really there for me. If I don't have like 5 reminders letting me know that, hey, I have to do this thing today, ultimately I'm probably going to forget about it. I can't focus very well because my brain is always kind of somewhere else, or in like a state of, I'm kind of like in a state of mind where my critical thinking part of my brain that can process complex information like listed information or things like that is kind of like not there, which can make it really hard to do well in school sometimes. I like critical thinking and I like thinking through things and I like analyzing like pieces of art and stuff like that, but my brain is sometimes just like, no, we're not doing that right now, and so it's hard to kind of get past that. And so school has not been very easy for me sometimes, but I try my best. I haven't really personally had anybody tell me anything negative about my mental health problems. It's mainly an internal thing because society itself tells us that it's not okay to talk about these types of things, and it's not okay to not be what they determine as normal. I feel like I stigmatize myself more than anyone else. I have to come to terms with the fact that I'm never going to be normal. It's just not entirely possible for me, and I'm learning to be okay with that and learning to accept that I have limitations as to what I can do and what I can handle. Trauma isn't what it's like in the media. What the media portrays, I feel like, is extremely dangerous and extremely harmful, because even I find myself thinking like, oh, well, because I don't experience my trauma the same way that I've seen in the movies or I've seen in TV shows or even just seen in general people talking about, I invalidate myself, and I'm still trying to work on that. There's no one particular way that someone experiences and handles trauma. Like what might be traumatizing for one person might not be traumatizing for another person, and that's equally valid both ways. And I guess for people who have maybe like a loved one who's dealing with trauma or dissociation or things like that, I guess I would just say that they know themselves better than anyone else, and they know what they can handle and they know what they can't handle. So just trust them and be there for them and be patient with them. For example, my boyfriend and I, we've been together for 7-8 years at this point. We joke about everything under the sun. So we're very comfortable with like joking about our own mental health issues and things like that. But if someone makes light of dissociation and things like that, or like trauma or whatever, and if I don't know them personally, I just think it's not okay to make those types of jokes around people unless you already have like a bit of like a pre-established relationship with them. I don't know, people who deal with mental health issues, whether they're trauma related or not. I just want to make sure that those people out there understand that invalidating yourself and invalidating your experiences is really doing a disservice to yourself. I know it's hard to admit when those terrible things happen to you because your brain is hardwired to be like, you're not supposed to know about that, you're not supposed to be dealing with that right now. But if you're saying it's not that bad, it probably was that bad, particularly for people who don't have an official diagnosis yet. If you feel like you're faking, which I know is like a big thing that people deal with, like, oh, how to tell if someone is faking a disorder. If you worry that you're faking, you're most likely not faking it. Just because you don't have that stamp of approval from a psychiatrist saying that that's what you have doesn't mean that that's not what your experience is. I guess I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you for watching this interview. For the full version, visit our website. And in the meantime, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and share it with anyone who could benefit from it. Have a beautiful day.